have a Valentine per se, so I made myself my Valentine, and this is called a Valentine's card kit. And so I am going to make myself my own Valentine. I'm going to address it and mail it to myself so that I have a Valentine. And these are little kits that you can buy at the dollar store. So anyone here who does not yet have their very own Valentine, you can become your own Valentine, which we'll be talking about a little bit today. I love that idea. So yes, we are sharing this whole idea, the month of love. Let's say love. Love. And it is a tradition in many of our centers around the world to explore the topic of love. And I know that those today who are not in a romantic relationship, so don't raise your hand if you're not, sometimes you may perhaps cringe at the thought of Valentine's. But I want you to know that you are safe this month, because this month, while our theme is On the Wings of Love, that's the theme for the whole month, On the Wings of Love. It's the wings of love of the divine that I will be sharing with you. And each week this month, I'm using love as an acronym, and each week I will share with you a different aspect of how we do that. So the first one today is living in light and laughter. That's L for light and laughter. Next week is O for omnipresence, omnipotence, and omniscience, which you will find out to be very powerfully about love as well. The V for love is vision and vitality. So that's week 3. And finally, we're going to end up with enlightened enthusiasm. Enlightened enthusiasm about love. So today is living in light and laughter. And in our Science of Mind teaching, we believe in the incarnation of divine love in everyone, in all people, in all things, everything made out of love. And I like to call it the love intelligence. This love intelligence is within us and all around us. In fact, we are immersed in love. In our Science of Mind teaching, this is what Dr. Holmes says. I love it. He says, the one infinite reality, the thing itself, the divine, is universal life, and this life is within all creation. It springs forth from all creation. This universal life moves at the speed of light. Anyone ever see the speed of light? No. How about the speed of love? I recently, this week, got an email from one of my friends in the States, and she's in love. And you should hear, oh my gosh, I just met the most wonderful man in the whole universe. And on and on. I think, oh boy, been there, done that. I have several t-shirts. What would happen, though, if we fell in love with the divine that is within us, with that divine essence that is right here, right now? And if everyone knew they were love, and then they fell in love, that's like double love, right? Like a double latte of love. It'd be great. So you want to keep in mind this whole month, and today especially, about love and laughter. And I share with you this story that will exemplify love, but also something else. So see what that something else is. There was a guy from Arizona. Who knows where Arizona is? Most of us. There's a guy from Arizona who died, and he was sent to that place. He was sent to that place that's very warm. Y'all know where that is?
Arizona. New Mexico?
Very good. Okay. So he arrives down there in this very warm place, and the director down there puts him to work breaking up rocks with a sledgehammer. And to make it worse, he cranks up the temperature and the humidity. After a couple of days, the director checks on his latest arrival to see if he's suffering adequately. He is aghast as the guy from Arizona is happily swinging his sledgehammer and whistling a happy tune. He walks up to him and says, I don't understand this. I've turned up the heat way up. It's humid. You're crushing rocks. Why are you so happy? The guy from Arizona says, with a big smile. And he looks at him and he says, "This is great. It reminds me of my home in Arizona. Hot, humid, a good place to work. It reminds me of home. This is fantastic." He's so happy. So the director now is extremely irritated and perplexed. He walks away to ponder this and remarks these ideas and remarks and expressions from this guy from Arizona. Then he decides to drop the temperature, send down a driving rain and a torrential storm. Soon, hell is wet and muddy mess, and sloshing through the mud with mud up to his knees, the man from Arizona is even happier. And he's sludging his hammer around and breaking up rocks, and he's happily pushing the wheelbarrow full of crushed rocks. And again, the director asks him, "How can you be in such happy state of being? Why are you so happy?" Well, the guy from Arizona replies, "This is great." He says, he's so happy. He said, "This is just like spring in Arizona. We have monsoons that come and they just pour down and it gets muddy, and I'm so happy. It reminds me of home. Thank you so much. I'm so happy." Well, the director is really ticked off, really upset right now. And he's baffled and more determined than ever to make this man suffer. So he says, he's thought of something. He said, "What I'm going to do now is turn the temperature way down and make it absolutely freezing cold, absolutely icy." And he is confident that this surely will make the guy from Arizona miserable. He is again aghast when he finds this man from Arizona. The guy is dancing now on the ice. He's singing, he's twirling, and he has a sledgehammer, and even more happy than he's ever seen him. How is that possible? How can you be so blank happy? How can you be so happy? Don't you know it's minus 40? Well, jumping up and down, the Arizona man picks up a snowball, throws it at the director, and says, "Hell is frozen over. Hell is frozen over. Hell is frozen over. This can only mean that my team has won the Super Bowl." So I thought this joke would be perfect for Super Bowl Sunday. How many of you are going to celebrate Super Bowl Sunday? And you know the teams. I had to look it up. Right? The Panthers, and who's the other one? The Broncos. Panthers and Broncos. Can you just imagine that? Panthers and Broncos getting into a brawl. Yeah. So what does that have to do? Well, laughing is one of the first signs of the presence of the divine. When you are able to laugh. For we know that God, and we teach that God or the divine or the infinite is everywhere present. In fact, it is the center that is everywhere and the circumference that is nowhere. And so we all live in the universe. We live and move and have our being in this divine center that is right where we are. So our premise for today is that humor and lightness are gifts from the divine. And that's why I have laugh up here. Laugh, because it's very important. So humor and lightness are gifts from the divine, and our ability to laugh in the midst of challenging circumstances. Anyone have challenging circumstances? I have. Anyone else? Just me? If you have challenging circumstances or appearances in your life, if you are able to find a way to find some sort of humor. I had one of my colleagues, her name was Reverend Rose, and she would ask me if I was in any kind of situation that was difficult. She would say, "Is it funny yet?" Because when you can laugh at the situation, no matter how difficult, you can. Once you get to the point where it's funny, then you realize it's no longer causing you pain like that director down there that was trying to cause suffering. You don't suffer. You find humor in life. You can say, "Isn't this interesting that this happened?" So the plan for today is to shine light and laughter in places that could use a big dose of divine love. And as I close today's message, we're going to do just that. So right now, think if there's any place in your life, any situation that is difficult for you. Maybe you're looking for a job. Maybe you have physical manifestations of you're not feeling well. Maybe you have relationship issues. Usually there are no money. Anyone have those? Sometimes that happens, right? So in any situation that is causing you distress, we're going to take that into our meditation and we're going to shine the light right there. We'll do that in just a little bit. I would like to make share this with you. It's a quote, and it goes like this, and it's from Leonard Cohen. And he says this, and I quote, ring the bells that can be rung. Ring the bells that still can ring. Forget your perfect thing. There is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. And there's a story, actually this time it's a true story. And the story of a young man, and some of you may know this young man. There was a young man who had irregular cells in one of his legs. And ultimately, they did everything they could, the doctors, but they decided they would have to remove his leg. So he only had one leg. And this man was extremely distraught. It was difficult for him, so difficult for him, because he was young, and he was fit, and he was athletic, and now only had one leg. He went through a deep, dark night of the soul. And while he was in that place, he was given an artwork. He was given therapy to do art. And in that, he painted a picture of a vase, kind of like this back here. We have flowers. But in the vase, or the vase, do you know the difference between a vase and a vase? Who knows the difference between a vase and a vase? About $100. So it depends on how you frame it, right? So he painted this vase with a great big crack in the middle because he felt like he was worthless. He felt that he was damaged and he was cracked and he was good to no one. Maybe you know someone like that, or maybe you felt that way yourself. If you have a lot of people, the number one illness in our world, you might know this, is depression. People get depressed. So years later, he went through all of his healing. He wanted to give back, so he went back to the place, to this hospital where he had his leg amputated. And what he found was, he walked through the ward and he was called to this one room. And there was a woman in there who had irregular cells, and she had to have a double mastectomy. So he wanted to cheer her up. So he went in this young woman's room, and he tried to cheer her up. He did everything, and she had her face like this, turned to the wall. She wouldn't talk to anybody. She wouldn't respond to anyone. And so he did everything he could think of, and she didn't respond. So he had this idea to turn on the radio. So he turned on the radio in her room, turned it up loud, took off his prosthetic leg, and he began to dance on one leg. He danced around I don't know how he did it, but he danced around the leg on one room to the music. And this woman, she could hear all this music and knew something was happening. She saw it, and so she began to turn her head, and she saw this man jumping around the room on one leg dancing, and she began to laugh. And she laughed, and she laughed, and she laughed, and she laughed. And she said, well, she said to him, if you can dance, I guess I can sing. And she did. She began to sing and sing. And of course, what happened, not too long after, about 6 months after that, they got married. They went down the aisle, they got married, but that's not the end of the story. He also, while he was in the hospital, went back to his therapist, the art therapist, and was looking through the paintings and found the one with this vase that was all cracked, had this big crack in it. And he realized it wasn't done. So he went and he got a bright yellow marker, and it made it look like light was coming out of the crack, because he realized that right in the midst of him and all that he had been through, that the light of the divine was there inside of him. And he moved beyond that. He was able to find lightness and laughter, and of course, he found love. Let's say that together. Love. Yeah, he found love. So isn't that great? So I love that. So when we can let go of having the perfect thing, that something has to be perfect. Anyone here perfectionists? No one?
You can't be this much.
Why not? You are or you aren't. Okay. Well, I know some who are in certain areas, like they're very particular about their car, but their room is a mess. My daughter was like that. Anyway, that's okay. So you can have certain areas. So, yeah. All right. So the second thing I wanted to share is that our being is made out of this divine love, that we are filled with the joy and the laughter of God. And like the wave in the ocean, it comes into self-expression. We are willing to open up a way for that love and laughter to come out. And modern fiction writer Jodi Picoult once said, there's always going to be the appearance of difficulty in the world. Anyone notice that? We have an earthquake in Taiwan. I just read that. Earthquake in Taiwan. There's all kinds of things and shootings and all kinds of things happening in the world. And he said, when that happens, when we notice that these things are happening in the world, you can light up that experience within your own heart if you light a candle and remember that you are indeed the light of the world. What I do when I hear these things is I realize that is my prayer. That is my prayer. That is what I'm praying for that day when I hear about this, and to know that. So I love that. And so what was discovered, that even one thought of divine love, of infinite love, is like a candle in a dark place. One thought of infinite love can bring light and lightness to circumstances that are troubled. And one drop of light, one thought, one cell of light, can bring lightness and light into our troubled cells. Anyone ever have troubled cells? Into our troubled cells, causing them to relax and remember the pattern of perfection that is right here within us. And so very important that we realize and keep our attention on that love. Our great master teacher Jesus says, "Ye are the light of the world." And finally, in every incarnation, as Dr. Holmes says, each carnation is unique and precious. Every one of us is here on purpose. We decided to come here. And in his book, Homesick for Heaven, Walter Starkey said this, and he was quoting Joel Goldsmith. Those of you know, he said, "I am the light of the world and ever will be. And if you accept this teaching, you will shine as the noonday sun, in which there is no darkness at all. I am the light. Will not permit questions of why or wherefore. It accepts itself as the full radiance of the risen sun. I am the light, seeks not for health or wealth or success or progress, but knows that which I am seeking, I am." So that which you are seeking, you already are. If you're seeking for health, it is already there. If you are seeking for wealth, it is already there. It's not being held away from you. If you are seeking for love, it is already there. So I want you to say with me, I am the light. Say that.
I am the light.
I am the light of the world.
I am the light of the world.
I am the light of the universe.
I am the light of the universe.
Upon universe, upon universe, upon universe. All right, we're going to do that again. I am the light.
I am the light.
I am the light of the world.
I am the light of the world.
I am the light of the universe.
I am the light of the universe.
I am the light of the universe upon universe upon universe.
I am the light of the universe upon universe upon universe.
Every morning when I do my prayer practice, I literally send light to the entire cosmos. And it moves at the speed of light. It is done just like that. I love that. I do that every day. It feels really good. And whenever we pray, we feel ourselves first with that prayer. So it blesses us first as it goes out into the world. So to kind of sum this up for today, I want to share with you the story of the lightning bugs. How many of you have ever actually seen a lightning bug? Raise your hand. You have. Okay. So I want to know, what is the deal with these lightning bugs? This is a rather ordinary looking insect. But wait, it has a glow-in-the-dark rear end. What was God thinking? Science surely has all kinds of explanations about how this fluorescent fanny is used for mating and other stuff, right? But what if the divine was creating this just to make us smile? Just to light up our life? Perhaps lightning bugs have a purpose after all. They are a reminder of the creative divinity who loves us so much that even lights up the rear end of a bug just to make us smile. Are there any in Canada, these light bugs?
In Ontario.
Where do I find them? Ontario? I have to go all the way to Ontario? Oh dear. All right, so we're, as promised, it's a good thing. My mom was born in Ontario, Timmins, but I've never been there. Oh, they would be? I'm going to go visit her
Certain
over there.
times a year.
on the other side. Twice a year?
I think it's only certain times a year.
Certain
like in
times a
July
year.
or something like that.
Thank you. I'm going to have to do that. To me, it's very interesting that there's a bug that lights up the world. Okay, so now I want you to bring to mind, we're going to do a very brief meditation right now. We're just going to bring this all together, this whole idea of light and laughter and lightning bugs. And I want you to bring to mind, as I asked earlier, for you to think of something somewhere in your life, some place in your body, some relationship you're having, some difficulty with money, whatever it might be for you, and bring that to mind right now. And so just bring your awareness to that place, to that relationship, to that part of your body, or parts of your body, to that checkbook, to that new job you would like. And just bringing that to mind, I invite you to bring into your awareness that right in the midst of that challenge or that darkness or that place in your body, I invite you right now to light a divine, like you are lighting a candle right in the center of that. So if it's your checkbook, you are lighting a candle directly into your checkbook. Or you are lighting a candle in your body. This is a candle of light right into your body. It's a relationship. You are lighting a candle in any difficulty you are having anywhere in your life. And so I want you to see that light. You are literally lighting the candle of light and laughter right in the midst of the challenge. And so I'm going to do mine for Taiwan. That right in this earthquake place, I am lighting the candle of love and light, of light and love. And I am just bringing into my awareness, realizing that what I bring reaches out beyond me as a living blessing to this world and to the situation. And so imagine right now, as you've lit that candle, that it is getting brighter, that all of a sudden it's getting brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter. Until the entire situation, the entire challenge, the entire relationship or the prosperity, whatever it is for you, is completely engulfed in light. Completely engulfed in divine love and completely resolved. It is lit up brighter than the sun. It is dazzling light, resolving, healing, blessing the situation. And remembering that no matter what your faith is or is not, no matter where in the world you are, I want you to know that even as you hear these words, that the divine presence of love is with you, is in that situation. For behind the eyes of every child, and in the melody of every song, in the glimmer of ice crystals and the rays of the sun and the stars at night, and with each smile you see, and every hug you receive, and every laughter you hear, the divine is there. And that light is getting brighter and brighter and brighter. And all of this is because the divine so loves you. It created you out of itself, here to love during this month of love. Giving yourself permission to laugh and to laugh, and to deeply know that you are love, made out of love, and here to love. To value yourself as so precious to this world and to see that divine reality in every situation in your life, to see that as your life and see that light getting brighter and brighter and brighter. And so in that place of gratitude, knowing that light and laughter are the manifestations of divinity, I just give thanks for this complete healing and revealing of the divine in you, as you, in every aspect of your life and in every part of this world and in every part of the universe. And so for this and so much more, I give thanks. And let us anchor this together as we say, and so it is. The light, the light, the light, the laughter. All right, and we have a song.